Hi, Mel Henshaw here again, another one of my current events updates on YouTube. And this one's on Independence Day. Not that I see a whole hell of a lot of that out there anywhere, and nothing to celebrate. This for me will be 50 years on that score before I got started in what I'm involved in now, but instinctively I got it. So here we are, and amidst all the crap that's going on, and now, just as I said earlier, the people want to take down the Washington Monument and the Jefferson Memorial because they were racist, quote unquote. I mean, when is this all going to stop? I mean, get over it, people. There hasn't been a slave in 150 years here. My goodness. Not only that, this is exactly what the New York banksters want: to divide and conquer. They've been doing it since the war between the states, if not longer. That way they can keep these states of martial law in effect with black rioters and thugs going in and looting stores and this, that, and the other. Exactly made to order. Needs to stop. We have to get on the same page here, start presenting the real issues that I advocate, and you can find out about those. Send me an email, uwinandcourt@gmail.com, for the information on what I do and how I do it. And I've done it very well to this point. We've just recently had my friend and I decision by the 9-0 parts in LIU versus SEC that wins his case that was there at the same time on the same ground. It's a disgorgement case that should have been treated as at least quasi-criminal with the state of California as the party. None of it happened. Interesting stuff. You'll get more information about that when you send a request to uwinandcourt@gmail.com. So we're on a roll here. And I have other things going on simultaneously that, my Oakland case, I got a petition there with the 9-0 parts, waiting to hear back. There's no known protocols on that one, but I'll keep you up to date as events occur. And just a lot of other things, and especially with the new COVID packet I've created to help deal with issues like allegedly due past rent, mortgage payments, student loans. And the exciting part is we're in an unprecedented window of opportunity here. We can not only make claims that none of those past due amounts are due, but we can then make the argument, and for the same reason, that you were fraudulently induced to enter agreements that the lenders, quote unquote, knew was dead on arrival, legally called null and void, nunc pro tunc ab initio, and take care of the whole contract. There's no common law contract, which is what one would expect in a common law state like California is. They have no consideration on their side. All they do is loan you out pieces of paper printed by the Federal Reserve, who makes up money out of debt, and take 30 years of your life in the form of your time and labor. Has to stop. We have a chance to make that happen. The more of us that do that, the quicker it's going to happen. Start raising these issues, force these black robe bastards to decide it, or better yet, challenge all of them, for their conflicts of interest. Get them off the bench. Get some neutral fact finders in there. Ideally, a common law jury would be perfect. And we can plead our case to them. And maybe the lenders can't even come into our court. That's even more exciting. Because the way I do things, you give them notice, they're not going to answer. And then just like going into their damn courts, you set unopposed records there. And we now come back on them and use those against them to bite them in the ass, because they have the sworn duty to answer our questions, prove jurisdiction. Yet in 5 decades, it's never happened. So we get some of these cases going and get big judgments, and maybe send some of these perps off, to San Quentin or some nice place like that. That's what's going to change things. Yeah, we're going to make a good chunk of change. That's helpful, but changing the way they do business, we have a real chance to do that over the course of the next 6 months or so, at least until they get this damn virus out on the streets, with the military thugs that Trump's already commissioned, come knocking on your door, needles and probably bazookas in hand. But I think we can beat them. We have to set an administrative record and do it properly. I think there are ways to do that, and may force them to recognize documents in their own jurisdiction that tell them we are not subject to all of this crap. That's what I do and how I do it. And one reason I walked away from my South Carolina felony case, never got close to a jury. Never going to, because the charge of me was practicing law without a license. And I said, yeah, the problem with that is I don't practice it. I get it right the first time. If I go before a jury, I break the safe bar monopoly, not only in Colombia, but every state in this nation. That's the kind of leverage that we have. All we have to do is work together, get past all these stereotypical BS images. And yeah, bottom line is, even with COVID, there is a little trace of truth in that. I get that. More so with current goings on, with George Floyd and all of the blacks that have been recently killed. But the bottom line is, we're all in this together. I would take the position that Black Lives Matter equals no lives matter, because if you owe your birthright citizenship to the 14th Amendment, you're a corporation, you're a dead entity, never born, can't be killed. This is the philosophy behind what goes on here, though very few people know it. Certainly the law enforcement thugs don't have a clue, even if some of them instinctively know it. So we'll see what develops. And by the way, there's, I think, not going to be a trial in Minneapolis, won't be one in Georgia either with the Rayshard Brooks case. I think the deals have already been cut. They just have to make it look good. Just not going to go before a jury. It makes no sense for the thugs to attempt to do that. I really don't think it does. So we'll see how it develops. But that said, I'll have more news for you if and when things, develop, and I'll keep you abreast of what I'm doing and let you know how it's going. Meanwhile, like my videos, tell your friends, subscribe, get the word out. The more of us that do that, the quicker we're going to get these bastards off our backs once and for all. Thank you.